Welcome back to my channel, guys. Anime Nay here. In my last video, I talked about My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. I mentioned some of the students that are in Class 1A and talked about where I think that they would be ranked if they were actually pro heroes. So today, I thought I would rank all of Class 1A and tell you guys where I think that they're ranked amongst each other. So I'm gonna be ranking them from 20 to 1. 20 being the worst, 1 being the best. All of these things are literally my opinion, what I would want to see in a hero and what I've seen from this show, and also little touches of the movie. If you watch this and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Totally understandable. And I'm positive that throughout the show, things are gonna change and some of these heroes are gonna become amazing and some of them are just gonna stay stagnant and stay exactly where they're at. So let's get this show on the road. In my number 20 slot, I have Toru, the invisible girl. Having invincibility is pretty cool, but that's basically all that she can do is be invisible. She can sneak around, she can potentially steal stuff, but I mean, she hasn't really shown any fighting capabilities or anything like that. Her invincibility is cool, but like that's all it is the cool quirk that we haven't really seen her use very well. In my number 19 slot, I have Sato. I know a lot of people want to rank him higher, but I mean, in reality, a lot of these heroes have the same powers and they have the ability to become really strong. In order for Sato to be strong, he needs to consume a bunch of sugar, and because of all the sugar he consumes, the more he consumes, the more exhausted and tired he gets, and then he ends up falling asleep. Sugar rushes only really last for about 3 minutes, and then he has to go to sleep unless he continues to eat more and more sugar. Not a good look. And people in Class 1A that also have the ability to hit really hard and be really strong. So I feel like his quirk just needs to come a little bit harder than that. Also, falling asleep might be the worst downfall of all of the quirks in this hero class. Like, falling asleep. In my number 18 slot, I have Aoyama. Aoyama kind of grew on me. At first, when I started watching the show, I definitely thought he was number 20 in the class. He doesn't have a lot of confidence, and his quirk is a naval laser. First, I just thought it was kind of like a light beam, and I was like, what is that gonna do? As I watched the show and I understood that it was actually a laser, I'm like, okay, this actually comes in handy a lot more than I thought it was going to. Particularly in the movie, Aoyama definitely comes in clutch in a lot of situations in the movie. Now that his outfit allows him to shoot lasers out of other places other than his navel, he definitely is a lot better to me. For number 17, I have Asui. Basically, Asui is a frog. She can leap like a frog. She can use her tongue just like a frog uses her tongue. And it actually does come in handy in terms of like combat and stuff like that. But I mean, it's still a tongue. Tongue is one of the most sensitive parts of your body, I think. Is that true? So unless her tongue is made out of steel, like someone could yank her tongue out of her mouth, someone could cut her tongue, like, oh my god, I don't even think about it. For number 16, I have Koda. Koda has the ability to speak to and virtually control animals, but they have to be able to hear him, which I think is pretty cool. There are so many animals in the animal kingdom, and if Koda can befriend a bunch of animals that are really strong, like some lions, some tigers, and some bears, Koda will definitely be able to win any fight that he's in. But so far in the show, we've seen Koda be scared of a lot of stuff, and that is just not a good look. And number 15, I have Mineta. Mineta has these adhesive balls on the top of his head that he can produce multiple muscles and multiples of. The drawback is that if he produces too many, he begins to bleed. As he becomes stronger, like the amount that he's able to produce will, increase. But I think that these adhesive balls can be used in so many ways, offensively and defensively. And I do actually think that that quirk will translate really well into being a professional hero when it comes to actually catching bad guys. In my number 14 slot, I have Ojiro. Ojiro's quirk is basically him having this huge tail, and apparently this tail is strong AF. At a first glance, having a tail sounds kind of boring compared to some of the other quirks. The way he uses it in combat actually works really well. Ojiro can find some way to make his tail more of a defensive quirk, then I think he'd be a lot stronger. Right now, all he can really do is attack, and in some of his fights, his tail is used as a shield, but I mean, it's still a tail, so it's a flesh that can easily be cut and broken. Ojiro himself seems to be one of the strongest in the class in terms of combat ability, but for me, he's not higher up on the list because I don't really see how much more he can do with this tail. I don't really see how he's gonna reach plus ultra with his tail. Next on my list is Jiro. I know that some people probably have her a lot lower on their list, but I think Jiro's quirk is hella cool. Ojiro basically has these earbuds at the end of her ears. You can hear stuff really well through walls and all types of stuff like that. And she can also amplify sound. At first, I thought, wow, what is she gonna do with that? But in terms of being a hero, her detective skills are gonna be off the chain. And personally, I think that it's such a creative quirk, and the anime writers can go so many different ways with this really cool quirk. So I can't wait to see what else she can do. Number 12, I have Shoji, very heartfelt guy. Everything you need to be a hero. But Shoji's quirk allows him to grow extra body parts on these limbs that he has. He can grow ears, increase his ability to hear. He can grow eyes. He can grow extra fists. He can grow extra feet and legs to allow him to be able to run faster. Like, there's just so much that he could do. He's also a really strong fighter, and his combat skills are pretty high too. So his creative quirk compared with his combat skills makes him a great superhero. Number 11, we have Sero. His quirk allows him to produce this really strong adhesive tape. He can trap people, he can attack people, he can block attacks and slap them out of his way. He can even use his tape as a way of getting around, kind of like a Spider-Man thing. It's unclear if he can produce an unlimited amount of tape or not, but the tape is definitely cool enough to get him to number 11 for me. We've reached the number 10 spot. From here on out, we're talking the creme de la creme. At number 10, I have Uraraka. Uraraka can control the gravitational pull of objects, which includes other people and herself. If Uraraka gets a chance to touch you, you're done for. And during the sports festival, we get to see her go up against Bakugo and almost win. She was this close. The only drawback is that she uses it too much. She gets really nauseous, which is very much so unideal if you're fighting a bad guy. For my number 9 hero, I have Ida. I know people are gonna be like, what? Why is he not higher? His quirk is super cool. Having engines in your cast that make you go super fast is awesome, and he has great combat ability. That's why he is where he is on my list. But the problem is that he can get tired out and then that quirk goes away. I just kind of feel like he is where he is. I don't know if he can get very much stronger than he already is right now. Maybe he can get himself to go a lot faster. And also the fact that Ida's engines can get blocked or clogged, and if that happens, it's nothing really he can do. It's also not great. For number 8, we have Ashido. This girl can produce acid from her body, and in the show she uses it in so many different ways. She uses it to slide and skate past people and avoid attacks, and she can also use it, of course, to attack people. And I think she can even use it in some sort of like defensive way, where if people were to touch her, they would instantly get burned from the acid concentrated wherever they're touching. I'm excited to see how strong she can get. For number 7, I have Momo. Momo can produce anything with her body if she understands how it's made. We've seen her quirk used so creatively to get her and her classmates out of so many different situations. She needs to become a swordswoman and be able to completely pull swords out of her back, all types of weapons, kunais. If she does that, like, there is no beating her. Essentially, I want her to become a 10-10, but even better 10-10. And I know that her body eventually comes to a limit where she can't keep pulling things out. The stronger she gets, the more that limit will increase, and the bigger the objects will become that she can produce. In my number 5 spot, I have Denki Kaminari. Come on, y'all, electrification. Like, I just need the show to give him more props than they're giving him. And I also need Kaminari to learn some control. If he can do that, then I feel like there is no stopping Kaminari. That is such a cool and superpower quirk. Also, he has got to learn to up his wattage so that he doesn't become so brainless if he uses his quirk too much. That is not a good look when you're facing an enemy. For number 5, we have Tokoyami with Dark Shadow. This man is super strong, and if Tokoyami isn't strong, Dark Shadow is hella strong. Only issue with Dark Shadow is that the light does not do my guy well. Unless he's just gonna become a nighttime superhero, I don't really know. And he is way too powerful at night. He's pretty much the Hulk. But again, the potential that he has is through the roof. So I do believe that he's gonna get way better control over Dark Shadow. He has this like dark and mysterious thing about him, of course, but also like it's something very regal about him, and I think it works really well for a superhero. Number 4, we have Kirishima. I love me some Red Riot. so much. Maybe because we get to see a lot more of him in season 4, I just have such a special place in my heart for Red Riot. His quirk allows him to harden his entire body, which can be used again, offensively and defensively. And I think there's gonna be no limit to how much he can harden his body. And eventually he's gonna reach this point where his body is made out of this unbreakable material and regular offensive attacks won't work on him. And even Bakugo loves him, y'all. Bakugo doesn't like anybody. We've come to the hardest part of this entire list for me. My top 3 heroes. This was a tough one. I'm just gonna tell you who I have where, and then I'll explain myself. I will plead my case. Number 3, Todoroki. Number 2, Bakugo. And my number 1 hero is none other than Deku himself. Don't really have anything negative to say about their quirks. Really, I just have Todoroki at number 3 because I feel like he doesn't want it as bad as Bakugo or Midoriya do. As far as his powers go, he's able to create fire and ice. You can use that in every way. I feel like he's gonna become comfortable and like where he is as a superhero and kind of just stay in his lane. And a lot of the feelings he has toward his dad and his mom have already started to dissipate. And as that continues to happen, I truly feel like he's gonna mature and kind of let go of the want to become the number 1 superhero, which leads me to why I have Bakugo as my number 2. I love Bakugo. Kachan, place in my heart for sure. Bakugo's quirk of explosions is amazing, and if you see this movie, you will not disagree that he is one of the strongest people in the My Hero Academia world, period, let alone in the class. I might even honestly like him a little bit more than I like Deku, but in reality, the public is just not gonna get behind Bakugo. He's a little too extreme. He likes fighting a little too much. And then there is young Zuko Midoriya. His reasons for wanting to be a hero are just so pure-hearted, not just to be liked or just to receive accolades, and not really to win, but really to help and make sure that people are safe. I mean, he inherited One for All, which gives him all the capabilities of a hero. Power, speed, this man can jump, he can run, he can hit. There's nothing that he can't do. That paired with his amazing intellect and the fact that he really does want to be a hero for all the right reasons, I just can't see him not being number 1. And honestly, that's the one thing that no one can challenge me on. I know for a fact young Midoriya is gonna be number 1. All right, that's my complete and total list from 20 to 1. Let me know where y'all think everyone would land. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.